Breaking news, Capitol Hill, where the House just passed a bill that could ban TikTok. Back with us is NBC's Julie Surkin. Lindsey Gorman's with us as well. And joining us now is former Republican Congressman Charlie Dent of Pennsylvania and former Democratic Congresswoman Donna Edwards of Maryland. Julie, bring us the breakdown.
Yeah, the bill passed overwhelmingly above that two-thirds threshold. The final vote total, Anna, was 352, to 65, with one individual voting present. That's Jasmine Crockett of Texas. You could see a steady stream of lawmakers running out behind me. Some of them are headed to their retreat. Some of them are headed home right now, but we'll stop them as we get them. There were some interesting votes when it came out to this bill. I'm talking about somebody like Jim Himes, who's the top Democrat on the Intelligence Committee in the House. He actually released a statement a couple of minutes ago explaining his vote. He said that as somebody who possesses a lot of classified information, somebody who's briefed often and is concerned about national security threats, that one of the ways that the U.S. is different from our foreign adversaries is that they ban social media apps, they ban newspapers, and we don't. And that is why he voted against this bill. You also had some interesting yes votes, like Jeff Jackson from North Carolina, one of the most prolific users of TikTok among the House lawmakers here. He has 2.5 million followers on TikTok. His last video I just checked was actually posted a day ago. That's how he communicates and reaches his voters. He told my colleague Ali Vitale last year in an interview that one of the concerns he had about TikTok, though, is that he does believe it should be divested from its Chinese ownership. He actually uses a separate phone when he uses TikTok, so clearly he has some national security concerns with it. Another notable note I want to tell you about quickly, Anna, is Katherine Clark. She's the #2 Democrat in the House. She counts the votes, so her breaking with leadership like Jeffries, for example, who supported the bill, is very interesting to me. Now, as to its path forward in the Senate, because that's where all the eyes will go to now, Steve Scalise, who's in Republican leadership, had said he's been communicating with senators across the chamber, across the Capitol behind me, and that they were looking to see if the vote total today was strong enough so that they feel comfortable and confident to put the House-passed bill without any changes on the Senate floor. But again, one of the concerns that lawmakers have is how fast this process went in the House. Some civil liberties, Republicans and Democrats who are in favor of those protections have argued that it needs more consideration and time in committees. So we'll see what happens in the Senate. But so far, a strong show of support and a big sign to TikTok, whose CEO is supposed to be here on Capitol Hill today and tomorrow, trying to convince senators to vote against it.